Looking for clarity and confidence when it comes to decision making for your business? You've come to the right place. You're now listening to the Atomic Business Coaching Podcast.
All right, Tommy, I'm a little annoyed to do this week's podcast, but not because of the podcast, because of the week we've had, right?
Yep, it's been a tough one.
Yep.
Tough couple of days.
What's been tough about it?
You know what it is? You recognize a couple of things. We've been doing a lot of things out of our comfort zone. And when it comes down to it, we have not been following our path. We've been following somebody else's path for us.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that a lot of business owners get caught up in at times is they get these ideas and someone tweaks how they say something and it changes the whole perspective and moves you down a totally different path than you thought you were setting out on. And that could become very disruptive and cause conflict. And that's why you're frustrated because everything we've been working on is out of alignment with what we wanted to accomplish.
We've been pulled so far away from what Tom and I's main objective of building this company was through trying to improve certain things like marketing and social media and advertising. And we have these great teams of people who they really are experts and they're very good at what they do. But every iteration, every improvement, every recommendation they made actually pulled us further away from what our core competency is. And when Tom and I originally started this business, we realized that we can help people to think differently. It started with a tagline that I have for other things I do, which is I help change people's lives by bringing confidence and clarity to decision making.
Right.
And we got led down this whole path of like, oh, you help people to 10x their revenue, which we actually do.
Right.
And you help people to quadruple their sales in 90 days, which we actually do. But that's not where we start. And everyone who's kind of advising us is like, you need to start there. Start with the results. Start with the tactic and the sales and tell them about all these different things that you do. And it's like, that's not how we really begin. That's the byproduct of what we do.
Right.
That's not what we do.
Exactly. And we talk to our clients all the time about what is your competitive edge? What is your differentiator? And here we are, your two coaches and consultants caught up in the noise of selling people. Here's how you're going to make a lot of money. And that is not our main intention. Like Adam just said, it's about bringing confidence and clarity to decision making. It's helping you to see things from a different perspective. It's understanding your differentiator and making that the thing that you sell is the thing that makes you different from everybody else. And we lost a little bit of sight of that. I mean, our differentiator remains. We are two coaches approaching this and nobody else is doing it the way we do it, where Adam's focused on the business and I am focused on the owner. And that is where we still remain as the differentiator.
And that is a good differentiator. But I focus on the business, you focus on the owner. But, even with that, they were kind of people we were working with, multiple different people. We're really like, okay, well, if you work on the business, you got to tell them how to do this and that and that and that. But I'm like, they're trying to give me advice on how to give advice. And I'm like, but you don't give advice.
Right.
Like, at least not on advising business owners in this realm. You give people advice in your realm. And because they are experts in their field, we felt like, okay, we should maybe consider what they're doing and let's try it out, right? We're paying them really big dollars. Let's try out what they're saying. But at the end of the day, when I work on the business, it's not just like, here's the tactic you got to take and here's where you have to change and write your SOP and do your business. It's not about that. All my work stems from understanding where your mind is, right, and where you're caught up at the moment and where you'd like to go in the future. And someone said to us, one of these people who we work with, they're like, you guys could take an hour to explain what you do. And it's like, well, I guess, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we're not fit for a 30-second clip.
Right.
Okay. But the thing is, when I help somebody on my end to gain that clarity and that confidence, I have to first listen to them.
Right.
The same way as when the reason they started to work with me is because they listened to me and they didn't get a soundbite from me. And what they understood after working with me is what I can do for them, which is I can allow them to start looking at things through a different lens with a different perspective to say, okay, like, why am I doing these things?
Mm-hmm.
And who am I doing them for? And what is this all about? And that might sound kumbaya to some of you, but if you don't have that first, any tactic that I give you, which I give all my clients tactics and ways to generate revenue and all these things, but any of them that I give you won't make any sense if it's not coming from a point of who you are and what you want to do and how you want to do these things. Right, Tom?
Right, 100%. I always explain to people that the first couple of sessions that we're working with people, for me, is really getting to understand the person and listen to what they're identifying as key issues and also what they're identifying as the things that are going to really help them. Those first couple of sessions in our who and our what specifically, I'm uncovering what's wrong in the different domains of your life and looking at what's going on that's good for you in those domains and what's not so good. And then looking at your sabotaging behaviors, because I want to understand how I can't help you best unless I really understand you. And people don't fully get that. But when I say my guarantee has always been, you're going to change your level of self-awareness. You're going to change your perspectives. And that's where you and I came together and our best. We can change people's perspective on almost anything. We can give each other different ways to look at things. And we sure as heck give it to people that are working with us. Especially what's become really fun lately is we have a ton of couples now that have all of a sudden flown into our business. And it's so interesting working with
when we
couples,
say couples, it's like
who are
husband and wife. Yeah,
right. Husband and wife, boyfriend,
owners.
girlfriend owners who are together doing this together. And it's a ton of fun to do it with them because we can really improve not just their business, but we also improve their interpersonal relationship with each other, which makes them better business owners ultimately in the end, and vice versa. They become a really good couple and team because they're working so well in their business together. And there's so many beautiful benefits of that all the way around. But the thing is that everybody can get caught up in all the noise that surrounds us. And I think one of the things that we have to encourage people to do is to eliminate a lot of those distractions. And this past week for us, I have been very distracted by, oh my God, like, did we do this completely wrong? Are we like, we had our own like, oh shit, like this is not what we're doing. This is not what we built. This is not why we came together to do this stuff. And it's been a big distraction. And I'm glad that you and I have worked really hard over the weekend and the last day or so to really hone in on what is our approach going to be and make some tough decisions.
Look, this happens to everybody. It's one of our major programs that we actually put ourselves through. We used 2 of our programs ourselves this weekend. And one of the main ones is Find New Direction, right? And that Find New Direction program that we do it's all centered around, I'm kind of a little bit lost right now. And Tom and I were sitting at our desk the other day. We had multiple meetings over the 2 days prior with all of our vendors that we're using and who are advising us. And we sat there, looked at each other, and we were completely lost. We literally didn't know what to do next. We didn't know what decision to make next. We didn't know what path we were going down. We needed to find a new direction. And we had to use our own program to go through this and figure out who, what, where, when, why, how. I mean, we even had to go through it and list out like each person that we're working with and what's the intention that we're using them for and what's the purpose that we have these people for and what is the outcome that we really want to have from doing any of this work. What's the outcome we want to have with working with a client? What's the outcome we want to have when we're branding our business? What's the outcome we want to have when we're marketing and doing sales? And every time we looked at this, we felt, or I don't know if you did, but I felt a little gross about where I was being led. And I'm not saying what we were being told was wrong. Hey, it wasn't wrong. It was right. I even told these people, what you're saying is right. You're not wrong. It just didn't feel right for me and Tom. And you may be in a situation in your business where you feel lost because you're going against kind of your purpose. You're going against your moral standards. And while these things may work and they may produce some results, or they may have the potential to produce results because someone told you they can, if it doesn't feel right for you, if it doesn't feel right for your business, if it doesn't feel right for the type of clients that you want to help, then why the hell would you do it, right?
100%. If you don't know why you're doing it, you got to think twice and stop doing what you're doing for a minute and reset. And we see this we became our own clients this weekend because we see what we went through is what a lot of our clients go through. And I think that self-awareness is huge, number one. And like you said, this was not bad advice that we were getting.
No.
This was all good advice that was coming in. It was very useful. We learned a ton from it over the last 6 months, year that we've been working with the variety of people. So we're very grateful for what we have learned through that process. It's just not the result that we expected. It's not the outcome that we expected. And I did that reel the other day about the difference between a result and an outcome. And we had some fans on Facebook not understanding. But when we get so caught up and attached to the result, and that very simply could be just to make more money, but it's the outcome that we've lost sight of. We lost sight of what are we really doing this for? What are we hoping comes out of every bit of labor that we're doing, every program that we're running, every client that we're working with? What is the outcome that we are seeking? And what we realized is our outcome was not in agreement with what our result is. And that was what the misalignment for us really became about and really hit us over the head. I mean, we literally walked out of our office on Friday, which was 4 days ago, saying, oh my God, what just happened? Like we just got whacked across. When you get that slap and you get startled, it was like we were shaken and startled by whatever it was we just realized. And it was unsettling. And like you said, it was gross. It felt gross.
Yeah.
It felt like we needed a shower. We needed to get away from it all and just clean away all the toxins and start off fresh. And that's what we really worked to do over the last couple of days.
Yeah. I mean, even like for some of the target markets that they were saying, we had our original people that we were working with and were great clients. And in the beginning, almost all of our clients came to us through referral or word of mouth or existing relationships. They didn't come from advertising or social media or anything else. And when we went down this path, one of these advisors was telling us, you really should go after consultants and agency owners. And like, we're pushing against that, going on this uphill journey to try to like force into working with these consultants and agency owners and speak to them and talk to them. And we realized like our core market, the people who we have most of our business with, is something that nobody even knows about. It's called purple collar. And it's what purple collar is really someone who has a mixture in their line of work of both blue collar and white collar. And what that means is they're going out and doing stuff with their hands or in the field, but they also have to have a professional degree or license or certification so they can do the white collar stuff and the analysis and the reporting and the paperwork and all that stuff. We work with all different types of people that handle both facets of their business. They're doing white collar work and they're doing blue collar work. And blue collar work could be in the medical field where you actually have your hands on the patients. And that's really the differentiator. Blue collar work could be where we have an architect we work with who has to go out in the field and test buildings for certain things, right? But both these people also have to have a license. They have to have professions. They have to have certifications. They have to do white collar work, which is reporting and analysis and all this detailed work. And when we're like looking at these consultants and agency owners, there's no like blue collar side to them. They're all white collar. And we're like, we're not speaking the thing that we do, and we're not speaking it to the people we do it for.
Right.
And it like just culminated into this almost screaming. We have a new office in Melville, New York, so we have neighbors, so I couldn't scream like I would at home. Which might have been a good thing.
It was a good thing.
Yeah. But the thing is, that wasn't bad advice. Those people, we could probably build programs and sell it to them, help them and change their lives and do everything. But we would not be doing what we were meant for, what we were put on this earth to do. Tom and I had other businesses before this, and we still have them and we still work with them, but this is our core business now. And the reason we're doing this is because Tom and I both realized this work is our purpose. This is literally what we were put on this planet to do, is to help these types of business owners who now they do this blue collar and this white collar work, and they're very good at both of them, but now they have to run a business too. And they know very little about running a business. And that's why we're business coaches. That's why we do business consulting. We don't tell you how to do your blue collar and white collar work. We tell you how you can use a team to build that better, how you can use strategies and structures, how you can think about these things differently. And that's like when Tom and I looked at each other and we realized like, okay, we're not talking about the programs that we want. We're not talking to the people we want. It was like, we need the weekend.
Yep. Yeah, it really was. And you have to do that at times. You have to walk away. You have to step away from that, especially when you get this confused, because you don't want to react to the situation. You really want to contemplate and reflect on it and look at all of the things that have happened and assess what was good about it, what wasn't so good about it, and create a plan and a strategy moving forward that is not reactive, that is really more proactive, that it doesn't happen again, right? And that's the big differentiator here is you want to go after setting a plan in motion so that this does not happen again. So we're not in that situation again because we lost sight of what our outcome should be and what we want it to be and who we were working with and all of that. And the goal never really changed, that we still want to help these types of business owners. Right.
Well,
so
let's talk about
that's what I think is important. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But so that's exactly what you're saying is you have to have this plan of action. And Tom and I have a tool that we have used for ourselves in the past, and we here and there would help some other people out with it. But now we have decided that what we had to take ourselves through is what we're going to help more and more people and take them through. And it's called a 90-day sales plan. Okay. And really what this is to look at, like Tom's saying, you're planning for the next 90 days. Okay. How are you going to go through and do your sales? But not like just thinking about here's every single little tactic and here's how many times I got to pick up the phone and dial it, or how many emails you got to send, or use this funnel and use this. Those are great. They're great. But if you don't understand who you're doing that for or why you're doing that, then it's all useless.
Yep.
And we have this 90-day plan, this 90-day sales plan that Tom and I have used. And now we have built out and we're going to give out to the public. And this was not intended to be any kind of a sales pitch for this or anything. This is truly stuff I have used. I have used this 90-day plan since 2012 when I was at MetLife. I've adapted it more over the years. And Tom has brought a whole nother side to this. Mm-hmm. But really what this is about, it's about thinking about your sales plan differently. Thinking about what your mission is and what your vision is differently, not what you think mission and vision is. And thinking about what's the problem you actually solve, not what's the thing that you sell. Mm-hmm. And this is a big problem for most people. We were role playing the other day when we were talking about people selling pens.
Right. That was fun.
Yeah, it was because we just had to work some stuff out. Right. We had to work some stuff out and think about it. And it's like, well, they're not really selling a pen. And we were like, what if someone is trying to be a competitor to Pilot pens or Bic pens? And it's like, they're not really, the problem they're solving isn't that they need a pen because they could just go get those other pens. The problem was solving, and it was like this fake pen that had really good ink that lasted longer. And the problem that they were solving was that the person who's writing kept running out of ink and had to replace their pens all the time. And this pen lasted longer. So the problem was very different than the product.
Right.
And then the idea was, what's the competitive edge?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to find your competitive edge.
Yep.
And these are the types of things that we talk about inside of our 90-day sales plan, at least on my side. What's some of the things you talk about on your side, Tom?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really how to execute on all of those things that we're bringing up on your side, right? You're focusing on the tactical and the clarity around each of the things, the problem you solve and what product you're selling, what's the product, what's the mission, the vision, etc. But what I'm looking at is what is the mindset needed and the execution strategy to be able to accomplish every single part of that tactical clarity side of the plan. Because you have to have the right mindset for this. You have to have, if you're going to live a mission every single day, you have to remind yourself of what that mission is. It's just as important as waking up every morning and going through your morning routine. There's an essential need that you have. You have to get up. You got to go use the bathroom. You got to get yourself ready for the day. If you don't ingrain that into your stuff, you don't have that. You're not going to execute on it, right?
Yeah.
What are the things that distract you from it? Like we talk about attention management and making the time for it and being laser focused to execute on it.
And what about on like the competitive edge stuff? I remember your side of it is like, I'm really trying to help people to truly understand. I was with a client this morning, a plumber. And I'm like, what's some of your competitors? And he named some of the competitors. I'm like, what makes you different from them? And he was able to list out like 3 really good things that he's never thought about before. And this is what's allowing him to start to, for himself, understand what his competitive edge is.
Mm-hmm.
But once we realize that, and I give them the clarity on that, and I give them the tactic on how to use it, then Tom, what are you doing on your side with this competitive edge side?
Well, my favorite part about this is one is helping people to avoid running into the imposter syndrome, right? That's number one. Because a lot of times what happens when you look at your competition, you start to comparisons. And when you start the comparisons, you find the inadequacies with yourself and your business. And then you're like, oh, we're not good enough to compete. And then we're imposters. And and then the imposter syndrome comes in. But the other beautiful thing that you and I really codified in this was the empathy for the values of the people that you are targeting to provide this product to and solve this problem for. Making sure that the values of what you're trying to do are meeting the values of the people that you're trying to sell it to.
Right.
That was such an important part in understanding the whole level of competition, because what is important to that person that needs this product and needs this problem solved? Because if you could empathize and put yourself in that person's shoes and really embrace what they truly need, it's going to make the whole process simple, and B, it's going to be a differentiator for you. It's going to become part of your competitive edge that you actually listen and understand the people you're trying to serve.
Absolutely. So that's something that, like I said, I've done for quite some time. Tom and I have implemented. We've helped some clients with it. And really what we're going to do now is we are going to offer this out to people as individuals. Okay. We are going to offer this out to people as groups. We are going to do workshops on Zoom. We are going to do workshops live in person in Long Island, New York. And we're going to really help these people to go through our 90-day sales plan. And how do you build this out, both on my side with more the tactics and the clarity, and on Tom's side with more the mindset and avoiding the distractions. And then the greatest thing about this, the best part is we help to build an action plan. And that's really what Tom and I spent most of today doing in our office, was what's our action plan now, right? So now we've kind of gotten this clarity and we understand the mistakes that we've made. We understand where we actually want to go, who we want to go there with, how we want to get there. But now it's like, okay, so what do we have to do? And we literally were writing on our wall about workshops. And what did we write about the workshops, Tom?
Yeah, workshops would be in hotels. They would be once a month. They may be twice a month, depending on the demand for it.
Strategic partners. So
right, exactly.
We have these partnerships, like we have partnerships with some accountants. We have partnerships with some gentlemen in the employee benefit space that deal with small business owners. We're meeting tomorrow with a banker that I've had a long time relationship with to see if there is a potential partnership there. Mm-hmm. So we talked about these are the actions that Tom and I need to take now to start implementing our 90-day sales plan. But we wouldn't have been able to build out that action plan if we didn't get the clarity, if we didn't have the tactics, if we didn't change our mindset on what we're doing, and then avoid all these nonsense distractions of people pulling us in different directions. And that's, I believe, what this truly the value of this is.
100%, man. 100%.
So listen, I don't know when you're listening to this. I don't know if it's today, tomorrow, and 10 years from now, but if you go and send us a message, and it's very easy to find us, right? You can find us at atomicbusinesscoaching.com. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us pretty much anywhere. And you can just send us a message, right? Just say, hey, I'm interested in learning more about the workshop, whether that's for you as an individual, for you coming and doing it maybe for your company, because that's one of the things we're going to bring this into corporations and do it for their entire team. Okay. Or if you want to attend one that we're going to do at a smaller scale, obviously, meaning not as intense an individual, but if you want to come to a group, let us know. Obviously, that'll be a lower cost. And quite honestly, we have already talked and we're probably going to be offering some of these for free. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the workshop is not 60 minutes and learn everything. It's a 4-hour workshop.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes time to build these things out. It takes time to gain clarity. It takes time to understand how to change your mindset. It takes time to build out your tactics and action plans so you can avoid all these distractions. So whenever you're hearing this, reach out to us in whatever way, shape, or form. You can always go in the show notes and there's ways to get in touch with us. But atomicbusinesscoaching.com, it's very easy to find us. And remember this, I'm Adam, and I work on the business.
I'm Tom. I work on the owner.
And together, we are Atomic Business Coaching.
And we're in the business of helping owners.